Someone at the top of the DVSA comes out and says, yeah, of course there's a quota system. Mugs. There are so many driving test myths, from quotas to examiners purposefully tricking you. It's a hot topic, let's get into it. Today, let's deep dive into some of the most common driving test myths that I see constantly coming up in the comment section. First one, driving too slowly. Do you think that driving under the speed limit is going to help you, is going to make you look safer, and is going to help you pass your driving test? Well, actually, what examiners are looking for on your driving test is just for you to be a safe, competent driver. When you're on your driving test, you're just trying to audition to get a proper driving license like everybody else. I'm driving at the speed limit right now. There's a car super close behind me. I might feel under pressure to go a bit faster, but imagine if I was going too slowly. Imagine if I was doing 15 miles an hour because I thought that was what the examiners wanted to see to make it look like I was safe. How's that driver behind going to feel? Am I now just creating a blockage on the road? Am I now just being a nuisance? Is that really helpful, and is that the kind of driver that you want to see? Is that the kind of driver that an examiner wants to see? And is that the kind of driver that's going to just create more traffic and more chaos on the road? Probs. Side note, the speed limit shown on the sat-nav on your driving test is very often wrong. You can see we just passed a 20 sign and the sat-nav shows 30. There's another 20 sign, there's another couple of 20 signs on the floor. The speed limit here is definitely 20 miles an hour, but the sat-nav thinks it's 30, so you can never rely on that as a gauge. Do you know what? Let's do it. Who's heard the saying, if you drive 5 miles an hour under, then you're more likely to pass your driving test? Right? You've heard that. People have said that, right? It's a very common myth. I'm going to drive 5 miles an hour under. Feel how weird that feels. There's a huge queue of traffic behind me, and if you're driving 5 miles an hour under the speed limit and it doesn't feel weird and you don't feel like you're holding up people, then, ooh, police chase, what's going on here? Fun. It is okay to drive 1 or 2 miles an hour under the speed limit. You'd rather have that buffer of being slightly under than being on the speed limit and risking tipping over. But there's a big difference between 15 miles an hour and 20 miles an hour. There's a big difference again between 25 miles an hour and 30 miles an hour. So while you're learning to drive, make part of that also learning to drive at the correct speed for the road that you're on. Have you heard the saying that examiners try and trick you to catch you out on your driving test? This is a common one. I hear this a lot, and let's explore that a little bit. The point of the driving test is to assess 3 things. Can you follow the rules of the road? Are you going to be safe on the road? And are you competent and comfortable driving on your own independently? There's literally no need to introduce tricks into the driving test. If someone can't do that, it's very quickly evident. As soon as you put someone on a route and say, go for it, I'm not going to help you, they either can cope with it or they can't. Here's the very small caveat. Sometimes examiners say things while you're on your driving test, and they might sound like a trick, but if you read into what they're saying, they're actually trying to help you. So examiners might say things like, take the next available road on the right. What does that mean? Is it a trick or is it helpful? If it's the next available road on the right, it's probably not going to be the next immediate junction on the right. Think about it. It's not a trick, it's actually them trying to help you. Other things that examiners say that might sound like a trick but are actually helpful might be something like, after a maneuver, are you happy with that? Are you done? Are you sure? It sounds like a trick, like, I thought I was done. I'm finished with my maneuver. Why are you tricking me to make it sound like I'm not? Actually, there's probably something there that you can easily fix. So recheck your steering, double check your positioning, and if it's easy to fix it, then go for it. So examiners aren't there to trick you. If anything, they want you to pass. It helps them go home with a warm, fuzzy feeling, and to be honest, it's less paperwork for them. But also think of it like this, from an examiner's perspective, right? I'm the guardian of driving licenses, and I get to choose who's on the road and who isn't. If I let this person out onto the road and I have to share the same road as them, am I going to be safe? Are my kids going to be safe? Are my friends and family going to be safe? So however much they want to pass everybody, at the end of the day, not everybody's ready to pass. So if you display driving that isn't safe or doesn't follow the rules, they're just not going to give you a driving license. Have you heard people say that they'd hate to get the same driving instructor again after failing? I'm here to tell you why that's not true. If you've just failed your driving test, don't switch driving test centres because you've put so much work into practicing for that driving test centre. Just because you don't want to meet the same examiner again, stay at the same test centre. Here's why. The examiners do like 7 or 8 driving tests a day. Times that by a week, times that by however many months it's been since your last driving test. Unless you were extremely dangerous, messed up, nearly hit people, they're not going to remember you. Yes, they had your name and yes, they've seen your license. Even if you're wearing the same clothes as last time though, I can guarantee that they won't remember you. They do the same routes every single day. They go around the same area every single day. One test merges into another test, and by the end of the week, they've just done driving tests. They don't remember individual people unless, like I said, you were so wild, you wore something incredibly crazy, or you did something extremely memorable, which chances are if you just failed on a couple of bits and got some decent feedback, that's not you. If by some weird, mad coincidence that examiner does remember you, here's why actually you can turn it into a positive. Remember that feeling of when you failed your driving test. Remember that feeling of when that examiner told you that you failed. How did you feel? Were you mad? Were you upset? Were you angry? Well, you've gone away now and you've done practice. You've done exactly what the examiners asked you to do. You've gone away, you reflected on the mistakes, and you've come back bigger, badder, and stronger. That's exactly what they want to see. They want to see you prove them wrong. They failed you last time. Well, do you know what, Mr. Examiner? Look who's back and look who's ready to get that blue certificate and for you to upgrade their green license into a pink one. Let's go. Okay, before we talk about driving test quotas, while we're in a little bit of traffic, this is the perfect time to talk about, it's not really a myth, it's more of a misunderstanding. Hesitation. This is probably one of the most commonly misunderstood driving test faults on the whole driving test. Hesitation is normally given when you're waiting at a junction to pull out into the stream of traffic and you've been waiting there too long. And what does too long mean? People commonly misconceive, misunderstand that waiting too long means I've been here for a set amount of time. I've been at this giveaway line or this roundabout entrance for too long now. My examiner's getting antsy, I'm getting stressed, and I need to enter the roundabout ASAP. What waiting too long actually means is I've missed gaps that were easy to get into. I've missed gaps that I could have easily put my car into to enter the flow of traffic, and I didn't. So I just really wanted to add that one into the video because I hope it will help somebody. I hope it will help lots of people. Hesitation isn't something to be stressed about. Just be confident about pulling into the stream of traffic and you'll be absolutely fine. The examiner's not looking for you to get out quickly, they're looking for you to get out safely. And if there's no safe gaps yet, you're not hesitating. You're only hesitating if you miss a clear and safe gap. Oh, actually, bonus one. While I remember, let me give you this as well. The time of day that you book your driving test, does it matter? Actually, I kind of think it does. This is obviously just my opinion, and if you don't agree, that's okay. But hear me out. I know I'm a driving instructor and I'm supposed to say that the time of day doesn't matter at all to your driving test result. And in some ways, that's true. But did you know that they do driving tests on Christmas Eve? If I book my driving test on a Monday morning at 8 or 9 a.m., am I not going to get loads of traffic? Am I not going to get loads of crazy school run drivers or white van drivers trying to get their deliveries done? Versus Christmas Eve, midday, are the roads not going to be quieter? I mean, I'm still going to have to display my skills and competencies and show that I can drive and be safe about it, but am I not going to get a slightly easier driving test without loads of people rushing about? Surely that's not a 1000 IQ move. That's just obvious. And I know that examiners pick the routes based on the time of day. So if you're likely to get stuck in traffic and not get anywhere on your driving test and it's not flowing and you can't really display your driving when you're in traffic, they're not going to use that particular driving test route. So it is true to say that you're very unlikely to get stuck in traffic on your driving test. But the types of drivers that are going to be around you and the types of driving that you're going to have to display at different times of the day, surely they're going to be different and they're going to impact the result of your driving test. I mean, I don't know. Of course, you have to still show that you're a safe, competent driver no matter what time of day you take your driving test. But surely some times of day are just easier to pass on than other times of day, when it's really busy versus really quiet, when there's frantic traffic going on versus just normal traffic. What do you think? Does the time of day affect your driving test? What times of day have you had for your driving test? Did you find them different if you've done more than one? Or if you've done mock tests, have you found different times of day different? And I want to hear from you whether you're an instructor or a learner. Okay, here's the juicy juice. driving test quotas, and I can only tell you what I know about this system. I can only tell you what I think and what my opinions are. Nobody's gonna ever, this is the fact, no one's ever gonna admit to there being a driving test quota, so nobody's ever gonna go definitive on it. Even if the people at the top said at any point there's no driving test quota, there's always going to be people out there that say it's a conspiracy, it's not true. Because it's really useful to be able to blame someone other than yourself for failing a driving test. It's not my fault, Gov. They just had their quota filled for the day. I could have passed, but quota was full. So the only way that we'll ever be able to go definitive on an answer that everybody agrees with is if someone at the top of the DVSA comes out and says, yeah, of course there's a quota system. Mugs. And let's be honest, that's never going to happen. So there's always going to be this conspiracy, and there's always going to be this rumor. I'll tell you why the rumor started, I'll tell you how it started, and I'll tell you my thoughts on it, and then you can give me your thoughts as well. And we won't put this to bed because the quota system rumor, myth, will always be there. But we can still talk about it, we can still have a laugh about it, and we can still have fun with it. So, DVSA uses a system to monitor their examiners. This system is there to ensure that driving tests are marked fairly. It's called Kai, it's quite boring, I won't explain it. But what essentially the system does is it checks the examiners at their test center to make sure that they're all marking to the same standard, which is great, we want that. In other countries, they don't have that. When I had that chat with the Italian driving instructor, he commented on how wildly different examiners can be because there is no system to monitor their quality and their marking. We don't want that. We don't want a system where we can turn up on one day and one examiner wants this type of driving, fast, confident, and turn up on the next day and a different examiner wants a different style of driving, slow and careful. We don't want that. We want a standardized system where all examiners want the exact same thing and are marking to the same criteria. Well, it's not perfect, but what's the best way of implementing that? I think it's what we've got. Here's what we've got. It's a system where wow, what is that? Absolute abomination of a Ford Fiesta. It's a system where the... What was I saying? It's a system where what the examiners mark get aggregated and put into a system so that the test center manager or whoever's monitoring can... I can't get over that Fiesta. Whoever's monitoring the system can have a look at this data and see one examiner is giving out more marks for something than another examiner. One examiner's failing more people than another examiner. And then they can ask the question, why? What can then happen is a chat can be had with that examiner to see why they've been failing more people than other people, and then we can get to the bottom of it. It might just be because they've had more bad drivers. We can then dig deeper into the data to see, oh yeah, you've had more younger drivers that week, absolutely random, and you've had more older drivers, which have just been more sensible. Not that young drivers are less sensible than old, but we can explain away that data that way. So we have a data system where we can monitor different examiners and make sure that they're all marking fairly. And if they're not, then we can investigate it and do something about it. Maybe even have an examiner sit in the back of some driving tests to make sure that Dave's not marking more harshly than Shirley, or Shirley's not marking less harshly than Eileen. I'm making up these names, they're not real examiners. If you're an examiner named Dave, Shirley or Eileen, I wasn't basing it on you and I'm sorry. We can also then dig even deeper into the data and say, hey, Dave's marking down loads of people for failing on emergency stops, way more than everybody else. Let's investigate that. That's the system that we want. We want to be able to dig into that. We don't want to just say, hey, you've passed examiner training, crack on. We'll never look into you again. We'll never monitor to see if you're marking fairly or harshly, if you're failing more women than everybody else, if you're failing more young people than everybody else. We want a system that can check up and spot these things, right? The problem is though, no system is perfect and all humans are infallible. Is that the right word? Humans aren't infallible. There you go. So if you're doing a job 9 to 5 and you don't want your manager breathing down your neck, you might be more encouraged to mark at the same standard or criteria as everybody else. I don't know, that's just my opinion. So perhaps potentially if you've had a massive run of fails and you don't want anybody to look into it because you just want to get on and do your job, you might then pass some people to even out your averages. But I will also say, because I don't want this to just be clickbait, I want this to actually be relevant and accurate information. It's not just 1 week that they're looking at. They don't look at it over week to week. They don't look at it over month to month. It's an entire average picture of your driving test marking as an examiner. So 1 week you probably will just fail loads of people, and the next week you probably will just pass loads of people. It's just how averages work and how driving tests work and how it works if you just see random people on a day-to-day basis. But if there's a consistent picture of one person marking very differently to another person, it will get investigated. And I'm sorry, but we want that. So is there a driving test quota? Kind of. Do we want there to be? Yeah. Right, I'm gonna go and turn off my socials because after saying that, it's about to get spicy. YouTube thinks that you'll love this video and it will help you to drive next. Click that one as well. I'll see you in the next one. Peace, bye.